Dude, he's the spitting image of Pops here. You can start by looking for his track.
I love it how Cloud cannot process that somebody is making me not look cool. The original video of this was like 4K 30, but they downscaled it to like 1080 30, and it will look a lot better. I mean, I can just tell you right off the bat, the game is pretty looking, and I have the footage to back it up on my end of the Junon area that it looks really good at 4K 30 FPS. I do wish Square Enix would actually, for once in their lives, put out a 4K trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake games. I wish, man. But luckily, you know, we get to look at this, analyze it a little bit, and finally get a decent chunk of this absolute wonderful opening for this game. Mountains with snow on them. You won't be able to go up there, but I mean, crazy. Look at all this stuff over here. What is all this stuff? Look at all this stuff, dude. So this is the first time the game's actually playable outside of the tutorial, potentially, from the Kalm flashback. And this is camera all the way out. I messed around with these settings. There was camera settings in the demo, and you could do the same thing in Remake Part 1. It was like camera setting 1. It was pretty zoomed in, but you can bump it to 3, and it bumps the camera out quite a bit in battle and in the world map. So check this out, dude. When you get into a fight, listen to the music. Same part of the song, right? Exact same part of the world theme, and it goes into the battle world theme immediately. Listen to how smooth this transition is. Dun dun. God, it's beautiful, dude. It's so sick. Here's the crazy part. This is not specific to this area. The Junon area had different music, so it just naturally transitioned to a battle theme of that version and then a exploration theme. So we'll talk about this a little bit later on, which is all the stuff you can actually do in the world. Yeah, there's a ton of foliage popping all over the place, man. And yeah, there's still a lot of technical shortcomings in this footage. The devs do say consistently that this is early. Like, don't judge us too harshly. This demo is not completely done yet. I don't think it's insanely noticeable, but if you're like a nitpicker and you're going to try to like, or if you're going to like, you know, Digital Foundry it, yeah, you're going to come across a lot of stuff that pops in pretty hard. Like shadows pop in the first like 15 meters of your character and stuff like that. It's all over the place. If you start looking for it, you'll never not see it. This is also kind of weird too, is the contextual jumping. So your character can't naturally jump in FF7, right? Or even Rebirth, but they do a contextual sort of jump like this. Or if you press circle, you like mount things in this game. So you can like jump over a wall. You can contextual jump over like waist high sort of stuff and just like huff over it. But now it acts like, I think hopefully this gets polished a little bit. It's a little weird. But again, I'm going out of my way. It's like a vault, yeah. I'm going out of my way to nitpick about things because it looks so goddamn good, right? I think the rest of the features of the game make up for that, where there's just like so much shit you can do in this world. And there's so much like interactivity with it that I'm like, I'm kind of okay with it. Mini Chocobo falls asleep with you. Here's the, you know, the classic FF7 save point.
You sure you want to fight?
And it looks so much better. The footage looks so much better, man, from what we were seeing on that stream. Good God. Look how good this looks. Is that a perfect parry? Is that a perfect parry? How will the disc situation work for digital? I mean, you just download it. Cool. Damn. This part of the theme, though. Was the chicken a different color in the Junon area? It was, and it could do different things. You just couldn't do it in the demo. I'm fairly sure that unless this changes, they're treating it the same as OG FF7, where throughout the game, the majority of the game, you only control Cloud, and Cloud has to be in the party. And I'd be very surprised if they changed that. But still, you know, I don't want to spoil shit. Handful of numinous ashes? What the hell? So yeah, let's get to the Chocobo farm scene. Here's some of the localization here.
Need some chocobos to cross the swamp.
Sorry, Pops, but you're out of luck.
Pops.
Got no more birds. Last one went this morning.
How deeply offended Cloud is.
Hardest-headed
Characters
bird
are still
yet.
good.
And he's the spitting image of Pops here. You can start by looking for his tracks. Find those, and you're sure to find the feet that made him. Now, while
I love it how Cloud cannot process that somebody is making me not look cool. I can't handle this right now. Like a teenager. Even the incidental characters that are just like extremely minor and had almost nothing in the previous game are great. I honestly wish that the Chocobo wrangling thing was a bit more, right? I wish it was a bit more involved, but it's nice that there's something, right? It isn't just like, oh, I'm gonna run into a chicken and throw it some Guy Shell greens and that's it. They turn it into something. They turn it into like kind of a mini game. Breath of the Wild style, sorta.
Keep it down. When you're on the hunt, you don't want to startle your prey.
Prey? You know we're not here to kill him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How much does the localization get this game? Like, they get it, dude. And it's funny because a lot of people like don't understand why this characterization is good for Cloud. Because Cloud is literally a 16-year-old at heart. And I'm not going to go into too much spoilers, but he is doing his best to try to be cool. And suddenly when like he tries to say something cool and someone around him like corrects what he's saying as being weird, he's like, Aw,
isn't he just the cutest?
oh my god, the Chocobo rap song.
You know, they are kind of similar. Totally.
What does he want now?
Do you think maybe he's still hungry?
Sorry, that's all the food we had.
But you know where there's more? Bill's place.
It feels like they're definitely trying to they're giving Chocobos a really important role in this game.
Come on.
And obviously Chocobos have a big role in every Final Fantasy, but it's like, I feel like you're going to be coming to this Chocobo Ranch a lot for different reasons throughout the whole game. You're going to be seeing a lot of things that were in FF7 Remake that are also in this game.
So why don't you wait outside?
Like things like limit breaks and some special moves and some music. And I think that is kind of fine because ultimately it's just adding to this game being a much bigger experience,
Hey there.
you know?
Detecting internal monologue. The hell's this weirdo doing here? I was created by Professor Hojo, you know. Though your thoughts could be read by any cyborg.
Self-aware. What I do like about it is exploration in this game is directly rewarded with things like materia. So you get like points throughout each region and then you go and get materia with it, potentially that Chadley only has. That's great. If you want to incentivize the player in a Final Fantasy VII game to do stuff, you do it with materia because materia is the most fun stuff you can get outside of like weapons. And yeah, fire and ice, auto cast, morph, auto unique ability. These are all like party functionality things right here. And then that stuff we were talking about earlier, how they're literally combining fire and ice and like wind and lightning, I think is what it was, into one materia so that they don't take up multiple slots anymore. So I've seen a lot of interesting stuff about this world map down here, how most of it is like untraversable mountain ranges. And I don't know if I agree with that completely. And I'll talk about why later on. Where I don't know if that's going to be the case. This isn't going to be Breath of the Wild exploration, obviously, but FF7 OG was like this too. The land barriers are the things that prevented you from moving from point A to point B. So because of it, you need to get things like traversal stuff, chocobos and vehicles and shit like that. That's what you need. So will it mean you can go over those mountains? Maybe not now, but possibly later. And to be honest, the only way you can get over mountains like that in the older games was either with like black chocobo or a green chocobo or a gold chocobo. I got a prediction on this. Obtained a Play Arts sweeper. So if anybody doesn't know what Play Arts is the official Square Enix like line of toys. That's their figurines that they have for Final Fantasy games. So what the heck? There's like a toy of a sweeper for anybody that played the old game. You collected these things in the old game called 135th Soldiers. And it was like a set of 135, 1 out of 35 of these like soldier figures that you think if you got 35 of them, you would do something, but it doesn't give you anything. So it looks like they're actually turning it into a game of some kind, right? You're getting these, I mean, that's what I'm guessing this is. Now you're getting like weird collectibles that are like figures. Oh, duh. 135th scale. Damn, dude. My brain always thought of it as like 135. I'm collecting 1 of 35, but it's 135th scale. Damn, bruh. That's a Phoenix down moment where it isn't, no, you're not casting Phoenix on a downed party member, you idiot. It's the down feathers of a phoenix. It's the feather of a phoenix down. It's like, oh, shit, you're right. I still think that's what this is going to be, right? It's a reference to the original game where you collect like toys and weird little like collectibles that you can't see. They're just there and you can use them to like obviously talk to NPCs that are looking for that shit. Super cool. If you can collect little figurines, oh, please, Square, listen to me. I mean, it's too late because their plans have been set in place for years. How incredibly sick would it be if the Play Arts collectibles in this game are the original FF7 models, where it's literally the old like polygon sweeper from the OG FF7. Please, dear God, have it be like the old classic polygon models. Please, that'd be so sick. If you could see it. There's still time. There's still time. We already have Polygon Cloud in the game, right? You already have the Mog House. That mushroom. What the hell is that? I like it how they tease the Mog House, but they don't, you know. They don't go over it. I do hope Mai can be turned off. I do hope. I hope this is an option and not a requirement. Because this was happening a lot in the demo that I was playing. Mai was talking all the time, and I was like, okay. I like this world thing, but I hope it can be disabled. Cool new cloud stuff. Firebolt's great for aerial enemies too. It puts cloud in like an aerial state. Parries are sick. It's funny, you don't see a lot of people talking about the fact that they added a just frame parry to the game, but they did. And it's nice. Like, this is the beginning of the game. Like, this is the first few enemies that you technically run into in this game, and they're surviving, right? They're actually living a long time. In Rebirth's combat, you got a ton of stuff you can do, like even in the first 10 minutes of the game. Like, just between synergy abilities and swapping out to ATB abilities and then your magic stuff and then materia on top of that, like, let's be real, they're kind of slamming the player with a shit ton of stuff that you can do even early on before later mechanics are offered to the player, which is surprising. So I'm glad that at least it's scaled in a way where, okay, yeah, we got some enemies that are going to be hard. Some enemies are going to have to live a long time so you can actually use this stuff, you know? There's Barrett on the side, you know, doing stuff.
Now's our chance. Leave the rest to me.
No, we know about this party switching mechanic. You can only do it before fights. Yeah, we talked about that in the demo.
You managed to complete all intel.
Before a fight starts, you have 3 specific parties that you can designate in the menu, and you can choose the party layout. Oh, I'm definitely going to replay a remake. We're going to replay OG FF7. Don't worry. Chat, this is... I mean, I like FF7... Obviously, I like FF7 Remake, right? I had an incredible time with it. It's like a 10 out of 10 for me. Critically, I think it's like a 9 out of 10. I think FF7 Remake was the game that, like, makes you shed a tear as an FF7 fan to realize, oh, God, they actually did it. But all FF7 fans know that wasn't the game. That wasn't the big one. To be real, the most important game of this trilogy is this one. I think this game's more important than Part 3. Even Part 3 might end up being more epic and grandiose than this. This game is the game that all FF7 fans are looking forward to, and this is eventually, I think, the most important game in the trilogy. Usually in a trilogy, the second one is critical, right? In anything, in any kind of fiction, you know? Yeah, the Part 1 was more of a proof of concept. This is our idea of how this is going to work, and now how do we translate this to the most important part, the world? How do we make the world work with these systems? Yeah, exactly. It's where the meat of Final Fantasy VII is. It's where you obviously fall in love with FF7 after Midgar. The majority of people do, you know? I think I'm looking forward to this game more. Obviously, like, gameplay-wise, like, I want to play this as a video game way more than Remake Part 1. Because even I think about going back and playing Remake Part 1. In some parts, I'm like, yeah, it's like, okay, let's get through this part where we just, like, are running through trash. You know? Let's run through this goddamn sewer. You know, there's definitely some parts of FF7 Remake that I'm fine with on first playthrough, and then I think about it again, I'm like, yeah, Midgar is kind of a dank-ass place. And sometimes in the day it's okay, but most of the time in the day it's not great. The truly, like, gorgeous FF7 that everyone's looking forward to is obviously Part 2. God damn.
It's Avalanche's fault. We're gonna have... I tell you. Everyone, please, one at a time.
So I noticed that they don't have the subtitling dialogue on the side over here. Probably an option. I can't remember if it was an option in Part 1, but I think it was. God, dude, this place feels so lived in. And I was saying how somebody was saying, like, this does not have, like, the small, quiet town feeling that Kalm had in the original. And I think I'd say that's intentional to give the towns a different feel in Part 3. You save that for Part 3 in the next game. After, like, Meteor is summoned. It'll turn into a quiet town, that's for sure. Kalm was destroyed and before Crisis and rebuilt to be a fake happy town? Didn't know that. So that before Crisis, we're talking the mobile game? So you telling me they Nibelheimed Kalm? Well, now it's just lining up more with that lore, right? A fake happy town? Interesting. That isn't that weird, because this is exactly what they do to Nibelheim. I don't want to... No more spoilers. I don't want to talk too much about stuff, but that is, you know, similar to what they do to another town in OG FF7.
Their sense of smell is indeed impressive, but this trail is still quite poor.
If I'm remembering correctly, when the developers were talking about this scene, apparently there is dialogue for specific characters in certain quests that only activate if they're a part of your active party. That's what it seemed like they were saying. So if you have, like, Red 13 or if you don't have Red 13 in your party at this time, that potentially you might not get some of this dialogue. Like, it might play out a bit differently. That's what it made it seem like. I don't know if we're going to get that if it's going to be that way in the final version, but that is cool where it's like, you know, oh, obviously if there's a flower quest where you got to go collect flowers and shit, you'd want to take Aerith on that quest, make sure she's in the main party. Yeah, that's not new to RPGs. This isn't a brand new, you know, absolutely miraculous thing. But for side questing in a Final Fantasy game, yeah, it's not bad. It's actually kind of great to know that we're going to get this stuff for these characters. So I hope, you know, even if this is something to expand on, obviously, your side characters, that would be cool if there's a reason to go back. Oh, I can go back with this character and something different will happen.
If you wish to try,
again, an extension of something that was already in Final Fantasy VII original, but actually, you know, expanded with a lot more budget, because still there's way more interactions and things that are happening in this game compared to the original.
I still have a faint impression of the scent. Together we can.
Did the Chocobo music just change? It did.
It from here on out?
No, the Chocobo has led us this far after all.
It changed. The Chocobo music changed to like a weird kind of mystery theme as you're looking for stuff. Cute. And that's literally it. That's the last of it. What did we get out of this, right? More confirmation of stuff that is already what we know about the game. It looks a lot better because of the visual fidelity of the footage. It's just a lot better looking than it was before. It's just nice to hear the English localization kicking in and the music, you know? I feel like we heard like 10 different tracks of music in just we kind of had an abridged like 15 to 20 minute sequence here. And to think that it's expansive, dude. There's so much extra shit around here. Look at all this stuff. It's crazy. So now that we've seen good looking footage, we have this translated. We have the footage we had, like the 4K footage and stuff from my experience with the game. How much stuff can we relate to the tangible world? Like, how many things can you actually do? I want to literally pinpoint and track down and show examples of like, okay, so when you're in the map, what can you actually do just with the demo footage and this 30 minutes, right? We're talking, this is like 1/50th of what the actual game is going to be. So what is there to do and how much of that is recorded? And we need to break it all down because holy shit.